Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate Profits Podcast with your host, Chris Davison.
Welcome to the Real Estate Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Davison. And today we're going to be covering one of the things I get people talk about all the time, finding your real estate deals. The number one question I get is, where do you find your deals? I get this question again and again. It comes up. So I just want to touch base with you guys, let you know what I've learned in my experience and touching base with dozens and dozens of deals. And I want to make sure that it makes sense and it's relevant. So as this theme comes up, I want to ask you guys, what do you think the number one way to find deals is? If I'm just curious, just type in the comments the best way, the ideas that you guys have had and shared, let it benefit the community. I think it's important to share that and see what other folks come up with. And that we could possibly best all learn from that together. So I think that would be critical. So I want to take some time here to break the process down and what's worked for me in my business and what I hope could work for you as well. And it's brought me, several hundreds of doors, but dozens and dozens of deals have come from different groups. And I want to talk about those groups and what they are, what they look like. And I think it's important to take the time to figure that out and see what makes sense. And I hope I can help you here, make some strong connections, do some deals with somebody, not once, but maybe possibly many deals with the same folks. This is how I did. I went from worker to player. I went from wanting to be in real estate to getting in real estate. See, so where are the deals hiding? A lot of people ask me, where are you finding deals? Where do you come up with deals? There's lots of ways to do it. I don't want to talk about today what I'm doing, what I did is the only way to do things. I want to make sure that. That's why I asked you guys in the group to let me know what works for you. How are you finding deals? What's going on? But I have to be honest, what I've done and what I've done may be different from what somebody else has done. So hopefully today we get some value out of it. So as we're talking about deals and talking about buying and selling, I know I want you to know that, what we're doing and how we're doing things is different. And I get that. And I get people to say it doesn't work or it does work. And maybe that worked for them. I just have to be honest. Like people and talking to people is where things get done. And I just believe that wholeheartedly. And I want you to know that. I think if you're doing that, you're putting the reps in, you're doing the work, you're going to find out that, hey, there are deals to be done. So let's talk about the local ground game. I think this is good. Why local real estate groups and possibly meetups and RIA groups are better than any online thing that I found. Honestly, I don't take away from anything online. You can meet and connect with people. I think that's great. But I think real deals happen in the hallway, not on the stage. So this is a proven strategy to get you in front of people, not also to get you in front of people who are doing business and doing what you want to do. And I think it's also where value is created. And obviously, I'm not telling you these tactics or these tricks or just my strategy to manipulate people, but how to really build lasting relationships. A friend of mine says that he wants to run the race with people. And I think part of it is that it is a race. It is a business. This is where you can do that. I think this is where real value is created. So one of my lenders always says, I never had a house walk in and make a mortgage payment. So it's not about a property and how great it is, but it's about the people. And I think this is always where relationships get built and connections, and we're able to connect with people at a deep level. It's also where deals happen. I mean, my best deals come from this platform, meeting people and networking. In this way, I think it's hands down probably the best way to connect with people and touch base. So the magic of it all. You go into these meetings looking for the best connections. So you don't go in to a meeting with your agenda or what you can do. You go in, you want to shake hands, introduce yourself to folks. I'm not saying don't be friendly, but you have to be specific and have this clear goal in mind. You look for folks that are active. I've done this and it works. I had one investor, we've connected with him and many times had coffee and lunches and got together. And he's led us to dozens of deals. I mean, literally dozens of deals. Just by sitting, talking about his family, his interest, and just generally wanting to get to know him, not have an agenda, and then just by asking, do you know anyone selling? It's a simple question. And it's amazing when you take time to connect and engage, what can come of it. And I think that's really important, is taking the time to be present. And this is a strategy I use, a little bit different than most people use, but I think you should get there early. Speak to the leader or facilitator of the group And once you've talked and engaged with them, ask a question like, who here should I introduce myself to? Then be quiet. They will tell you who to connect with and, and do your job. They'll do your job for you. So I think the mindset's really critical here. You aren't going there to get a deal. You aren't looking at people as a piece of meat on a hook. You're going there to find the person who has too many deals and they need a hand. So you want to help them. You want to add value. People are doing deals in these groups. You want to find out who's doing that. So folks tell me all the time, I can't find a good group in my target market. I hear that. I get that. And I've had the same problem in certain areas. So what if you can't find a group? I just say start a group. Go to Facebook, go to meetup.com, host a group. I think an in-person event is better for a lot of reasons, but online can work as well. Just do it. Be consistent, show up, keep posting, go somewhere you want to go, a coffee shop or brewery. This has worked for me. Just by being in front of the room, it shows that you're a leader, that you want to do something. You're an authority figure. This is a great way to connect with people. And by doing this, I've met great relationships and been able to help a lot of people. And I found a lot of deals and funding and things. So the anti-pitch, don't walk and ask someone for a job or for a deal or what you want. Walk up and ask about their most recent project, what they're doing, what they're working on. And I think this is a vulnerability edge. I think this is really important. As you lead with vulnerability, you're honest about your situation, what you're doing. If you're new, you're seasoned, whatever, I think it's important to lead with that. And most people, when you lead with vulnerability, they in kind want to show vulnerability back. And they'll be open to talk to about their portfolio and what they're doing and who they know. So one way I do that is say, hey, I'm Chris. I'm growing my rental portfolio in the local area. Use your local area, obviously. And I've seen you work on a project if you see them or ask them what they're working on, and ask them how'd that one turn out? How'd that project go? Be present. I think important to engage with them. And then the goal is to secure a meeting offsite. So it's great that you came to this event, the meeting. Now your objective at a meetup or is never to get a deal or to grab something from the group, but to give back. Let's get together for lunch or coffee. This is where my favorite principles, FROG, comes in. F.O.O.G. So FROG stands for something. I love acronyms. I'm a kid, I guess, at heart. So FROG stands for, it's not about, well, first off, back up. It's not about closing a deal. It's about building a relationship. So FROG stands for family, recreation, occupation, and goals, especially in real estate. What are their goals in real estate? I think it's important just to listen and ask each one of these questions about their family, ask about their kids, their wife, if they grew up around here, recreation, what do they like to, we'll get into all this, but so what you can, so one thing you can do is take time to connect and specifically ask and listen in a way that you're present about their family, the most important people in their lives. That's special to them. It lets them know that you are somebody who cares. I think that's really important to let them know that you do value their time, you value them, that you got together with them, you're spending some time with them, you're present, not looking at your phone, you're not just trying to get something from them. So one of my favorite questions as well was their family recreation. Talk about what they like. This is what they like, their hobbies, interests, sports, things they do and want to do. Then we get into our occupation. This is where they spend their time. They invest the biggest part of their day. They do. If they work for a living, if they're a full-time investor or realtor, who they are. But this is what I love is goals. What are they trying to achieve? Just think about it. What are they trying to build? What's their why? Or what they want out of life? What are they passionate about? And I think all these things are lead up to and they build upon what we're trying to do is a relationship, not just a transaction, but a relationship. And I want to leave that meeting getting to know more about them. What are they after? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to achieve? Then how can I use my network to help them with their goals? I want to add so much value to them that they think of me top of mind when something comes up that may work. It may work for me. It may work for them. They may be able to help each other out. So a quick frog story. I met someone who needed help on a project. I got to ask them about themselves using the frog, family, recreation, occupation, goals. And they started asking me about my business. Naturally, people who are curious and what I was doing. So because I asked them about themselves, they asked about me. I was vulnerable, so they became more vulnerable. And I told them I like to change people's lives through real estate, like my life's been changed. Then right away, they turned someone on to me that they wanted to sell. They couldn't sell a property. They had a property they couldn't sell. It was a multifamily unit. They were trying to sell way under market price. I asked if I could go look at it. It was nicely built within the last 15 years, a great complex. It seemed like a good deal. It was a great community. I liked it very much. I got back with them. I made an offer, it took my offer, which was way below market value, what they were asking. I just paid them their asking price. And day one, we had about 1.3 million appreciation just by helping someone and adding value. And I think that's important is I wanted to add value. I wanted to help, but they wanted to do the same thing in turn. So that invite, that gets a yes. If you get a yes to that, lunch or coffee is on me is my rule. So I always say, hey, lunch, coffee, it's on me. Can we get together? Always offer to pay. Explain that you have some ways, and this is just an example, that you might be able to help or add value. And there's a great book called Never Eat Alone. You could probably guess what it's about. You're right. You connect and build your network, and you do it through meals, and you do it through coffee, and they're write-offs anyway. So why not take advantage of that? I tell you what, this has been probably the biggest deal finder or deal discussion or way to close deals that I have ever found. So you can beat this subject till it's dead in the face, but I think it's super important that you can't beat a face-to-face reaction. You can't beat people who are present with someone else who is present, getting to know them, their family, what's going on in their lives, and you get to build a relationship. You get to run a race. Being in business is lonely, but if you got a few ideas on how maybe able to help your local acquisitions is a great way to talk to them, that face-to-face interaction, and just say, can I buy you lunch on Tuesday? And to run some of your ideas by them. Just let them know you want to run ideas by them and then deliver on this, connect with them. Investors I found are friendly. Realtors, wholesalers, other buyers and sellers can add value to these people. So one of the things I like to do is a strategy called stacking appointments, as we're talking about connecting, get together for coffee or lunch. So stacking appointments, this is gold. When I first heard of this, I was running in different places, different appointments. I was spreading myself thin. And then I found a central place to meet, which is super important. And then I looked at maximizing that time. How could I set up appointments back to back? For example, a 1 p.m., a 2 p.m., a 3 p.m., all for coffee. Now, you don't have to drink coffee the whole time. You can have tea or water, but how could I do 3 appointments in a central location and meet? And then what happens is those connections meet your connections in passing when you're leaving or going, and you get to connect with these people. And I think this is a game changer. My scheduling, it filled my calendar up. It was a much better and efficient way for me to get together. So I started using that principle, and that made all the difference for me, is to connect with these people and to get with them and to be able to kind of stack those appointments. So this is just what I've done to help, grow my network. This is what I've done to help people. And I think one of the most important things you can do is, be passionate about your why, learn, get engaged in what their why is and what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish. I want to change people's lives through real estate, just like my life's been changed. And whether it's housing or helping people find a place or fund a place or coach or whatever I can do to help people, that's what I want to do. So get to know their why and get to know what's important to them. I think this is a great way to do it. So hopefully today's podcast got some value out of it. Hopefully you put some comments about your best ways to find deals are. And I'm just looking forward to connecting again here real soon. So thanks for joining us on the Real Estate Profits Podcast. And we're just real grateful for you to tune in today. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate Profits Podcast with your host, Chris Davison.